Major details about the upcoming Death Star DLC for Star Wars Battlefront have been revealed today. We finally got some more news about the upcoming DLC. We already know the heroes are going to be Chewbacca and Bossk, but today we learned about a brand new game mode, a game mode that sounds absolutely insane. It involves space battles, destroying an Imperial Star Destroyer, and blowing up the Death Star. Not to mention the news that the Death Star DLC will be releasing next month in September, along with new heroes, new star cards, and new weapons. So today, I'm going to break down everything that we learned from this news. All of the details, how the mode works, and when we can expect it to release. My name is Connor, and welcome to Star Wars Central. So the article explains a ton of new details, whether it's star cards, heroes, the Battlestation game mode, loads of new information about the Death Star DLC. This is going to take me a while to break down this article, so quickly before we begin, I just want to say I will be attending PAX West from August the 31st to the 5th of September. Some of you guys have already said that you want to meet up there, which is definitely awesome. So if you also want to meet up, send your contact details to the email address in the description below. Or you can just DM me on Twitter, whatever one's easiest for you. Anyway, back to the video. So we start off with the new game mode called Battlestation. The Battlestation game mode has 3 stages. The first stage is in space. The second stage is inside the Death Star, and the third and final stage is in space again. But by the sounds of it, it will be based on the trench run from A New Hope. Phase 1 of the game mode is basically a space-based version of Fighter Squadron. The only difference is the objective is to destroy an Imperial Star Destroyer. Here is what they say. In Phase 1 you'll be flying X-Wings and A-Wings against TIE Fighters and TIE Interceptors in space. The main objective in this phase is for Rebels to destroy enough TIE Fighters until their Y-Wing support can come in to weaken the Star Destroyer's defenses. Once vulnerable, Rebel starfighters can attack the weak spots to bring the Star Destroyer down. In an effort to help defend this key asset for the Empire, players along with AI ships will be set up to help defend the Star Destroyer. End quote. So by the sounds of it, the Rebels will be outnumbered in the first stage, with the Imperials getting the added protection of AI fighters. However, AI fighters in Fighter Squadron absolutely suck. They are terrible pilots and are more of a distraction than anything else. So in the end, it will still come down to player versus player dogfighting. They also mention weak spots on the Star Destroyer. So even if you manage to destroy enough TIE Fighters to call the Y-Wing support in, there is still no guarantee you will be able to destroy the weak spots and progress to the next stage. It is going to require a lot of effort, and by the sounds of it, it is going to be a very immersive game mode with action that basically never stops. Once the Star Destroyer is destroyed, we move on to Phase 2 of the Battlestation game mode. Now, you may be thinking, space battles sound pretty amazing, right? Well, next we get to fight in the interior, in the corridors and the hangars themselves of the Death Star. The objective of the second phase is for the Rebels to extract a VIP droid from inside the Death Star itself. Here is what they have to say. Phase 2 will have players fighting inside this iconic space station among areas inspired by the classic trilogy. Rebel infantry will be tasked with extracting a priority droid from within the Death Star. Amidst the chaos of the battle, you will be able to gain an advantage by taking up arms as our new heroes Bossk and Chewbacca. End quote. So the interior battle is going to come down to how effective each team's hero is. No doubt it will be weighted slightly so the Rebels have somewhat of an advantage. That way the game mode progresses and players get to experience the final stage. But if you can organise a good team and the player who gets to use Bossk is relatively good or at least better than Chewbacca, then you could, as the Imperials, stop the game mode here. You're no longer going to have to put up with the TIE Fighter and the TIE Interceptor, which are laughably outclassed by the Rebel vehicles. So ultimately here the Imperials have a good chance at stopping the Rebel advance. And good teamwork is going to play a huge factor in the second stage. Of course, we have no confirmation that the game mode even stops if the rebels fail to extract the droid, but no doubt it will have some effect on either the game mode or the scoring of the mode itself. Moving on to the third and final stage, we move back outside the Death Star to fight in another space battle. This time the objective is to destroy the Death Star itself. Here is what they say. Players head back into space where the rebels need to end the battle once and for all by blowing up the Death Star. Players can become the hero of the Rebellion, Luke Skywalker, in his Red 5 X-Wing as they attempt to destroy the Empire's ultimate weapon. But beware, as Darth Vader has been dispatched to protect the Empire's asset in his TIE Advanced. End quote. So 2 new vehicles are confirmed, Luke Skywalker's Red 5 X-Wing and Darth Vader's TIE Advanced. We have no more details on whether these will be significantly better than the average starfighter, but most likely they will have a very large health pool as they will be hero ships and will also be central to the objective of the game modes. Moving on, at the end of the article we have one more big piece of news to cover. We get confirmation that the Death Star DLC will include new star cards, new blasters, Bossk and Chewbacca, which of course we already knew was confirmed, and also that the Death Star DLC will finally become fully operational in September. Here is what they had to say. Other new content will also be coming to the Death Star expansion, including new star cards and blasters, in addition to the aforementioned heroes Bossk and Chewbacca. Make sure to check back for more details as the Death Star expansion will become fully operational in September. End quote. So that's it. That's everything we learned about the Death Star DLC today. We know there will be a new game mode called Battlestation, which does include space battles, 2 new heroes, and the destruction of the Death Star. Also, the Death Star DLC will be releasing in September and will come with new star cards and blasters. That's it for the news today, guys. Tell me in the comments below, what do you think about the new Battlestation's game modes? Personally, I think it's going to be awesome, but I am a bit worried that the Imperials will be outgunned when it comes to the space battles. But ultimately, either way, it's still going to be an incredible experience. That's it for today, folks. I'll see you next time, and may the Force be with you.